Censorship and cancel culture is out of control. No time in America have we seen so many patriotic voices, and even former President Donald Trump, censored by tech companies which wield more power than the federal government. In the latest news, Facebook has banned an interview of President Trump. Here's an email from Facebook Lara Trump shared. Hi folks, we are reaching out to let you know that we removed content from Lara Trump's Facebook page that featured President Trump speaking. In line with the block we placed on Donald Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts, further content posted in the voice of Donald Trump will be removed and result in additional limitations on the accounts. Lara Trump can't even post an interview of Trump on her own Facebook account. It wasn't enough that they banned his account, they want Trump erased for good. In the same week, the most popular independent show on YouTube, Steven Crowder's channel was locked and demonetized. Steven said, "I've been warning about this for a long time, and now it's here." And let's not forget, the mob got Gina Carano fired from Lucasfilm for the crime of being a conservative. The censorship didn't stop with Trump after January 6th. In fact, it's only accelerated. Big tech won't stop until all conservatives have been cancelled. To understand what's going on, let's go back and remember why Trump was deplatformed in the first place. Big tech claimed that sitting President Donald Trump had incited violence in his speech on January 6th that led to the attack on the Capitol. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Shopify, and other platforms promptly banned Trump. They claimed so that he would not provoke further violence. Big tech and the Democrats joined forces to condemn and deplatform him. Even Republicans joined in on the pylon, even those in his own administration. And Trump supporters? Well, we were supposed to beg for forgiveness if we ever wanted to show our faces in public again. Remember the fake outrage, even on the right? As it turns out, the ban was planned and coordinated. January 6th was merely the excuse they used to finally do it. And since then, new information has come out. Number 1, President Trump did not incite violence in his speech. In fact, he specifically said to march over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. That's the reason why he was acquitted in his second impeachment. Number 2, the social media platform used most by the protesters to organize the protest was in fact Facebook and not Parler. The Parler CEO said they even warned the FBI about the Capitol riot threats, but still got scapegoated and banned. If you want to hold the right social media platforms accountable, it should be Facebook and Twitter. Number 3, it was not an armed insurrection. No one has been charged with possessing or using a firearm inside the Capitol building. It was the lamest insurrection I've ever seen. It only lasted a few hours. No politicians were captured, and the only people who got shot were Trump supporters. Number 4, police officer Brian Sicknick was not murdered by a protester hitting him on the head with a fire extinguisher. But it didn't matter. Everyone repeated it as truth. It was even used as evidence by the Democrats in the impeachment of President Trump. Conveniently, the New York Times retracted the original story of how he died after the impeachment was over. However, Trump took the fall, he got all the blame, and under this pretense, he got deplatformed and impeached. But this is how the left works. They manipulate every story and use it to fit their narrative. And since then, big tech has only gotten bolder in banning conservatives and even liberals who dare question anything the Democrats say. I have to admit, I've been really discouraged by these recent events. It's like we're living in a dystopian nightmare. Is this communist China? Is this North Korea? What happened to the freest country in the world? And what happened to our First Amendment rights? I've also questioned, is it even worth it to speak out? I mean, why bother? You get doxxed, you get banned, your name is maligned, and you potentially put your family in danger. After January 6th, some Christian leaders have concluded it was a mistake to get into politics, and we should just get out and preach the gospel from now on. and some conservatives have retreated. Hope they come for me last. So where do we go from here? If the tech giants can do that to a sitting Republican president, they can do that to you and they can do that to me. Should we just give up? No, because that is exactly what they want us to do. I look back on how I arrived in America. Believe it or not, what we're going through is not new. In order for the leftists to usher in their socialist totalitarian agenda, they have to ban free speech. And basically, all our inalienable rights is in the leftist playbook. My family escaped communist China. My parents grew up in the Cultural Revolution. And what we're seeing today in America is eerily similar to what happened during the Cultural Revolution in the 60s and 70s. The goal of the revolution was to get rid of the four olds: old customs, old culture, old habits, and old ideas. It denounced capitalism and the traditional Chinese way of life. Communist leader Mao Zedong incited great social upheaval. He threw cities into chaos, and he encouraged young radicals to attack certain groups who were scapegoated. He also ordered the youth to destroy religious and cultural monuments. They sought to purify the arts by banning anything that was deemed too Western. Mao's Little Red Book of Communist Sayings was forced to be read by millions of Chinese citizens who they thought needed re-education. And dissenters who were deemed anti-revolutionary were publicly shamed and banished. Sound familiar? Unfortunately, this social upheaval caused China's economy to languish, and between 500,000 to 2 million people were killed during this time. In the past year, have we not seen the beginning of our own cultural revolution here? Are we that much different from China? Thankfully, my family got out of China. They had a place to escape to, the West. My mom's side of the family moved to New Zealand, and my dad's side of the family moved to America, and they never looked back. America, more than any other nation, is their promised land on earth. But the totalitarian left has infiltrated America. And where can we go to escape? Nowhere. If freedom is lost in America, we're done. And what did Donald Trump run on? He wanted to make America great again. Conservatives want to preserve American ideals and traditions. We value our Judeo-Christian roots. As they like to say, we cling to our guns and religion. We like America just the way it is. That's why the left needs to cancel us. We are in the way of its cultural revolution of America, its great reset. Americans who've grown up in prosperity can't imagine that ever happening here. Not in our lifetime, not under our noses, they think. But I'm under no illusion that it can't happen here. In human history, we've seen the greatest nations rise and fall. We're not exempt. So, I know what's at stake, and that is why I can't keep silent. I can't shut up and just acquiesce to the left. What I'm seeing from the left today is all too familiar. I know where it leads. It leads to hell on earth. Immigrants from communist countries have experienced it firsthand. In Matthew 5 in the Bible, Jesus tells us that we are the salt of the earth. Salt gives flavor, salt preserves, and holds back corruption. We see that our society is being destroyed from within. Violence, greed, and hate are increasing. You know, we sure could use some salt to preserve the good that's left in America. Jesus also tells us, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house." We sure could use some light because, oh heck, the darkness and degeneracy is taking over, and it's coming for our kids. But when we hide, when we cower, when we lose our saltiness, what does Jesus say? It is then good for nothing but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. We get the government we deserve. Remember, the left is selling us degeneracy and the road to serfdom. So, speak up, join the fight, run for office, and defend our communities from this leftist encroachment. The worst thing we can do right now is retreat. As David Barden recently said in his sermon, we need to run to the roar. We need to welcome the fight. We don't back down, we double down. Don't be afraid of them canceling us. God will open another door because it is God who gives us our platform. You know who else they tried to cancel in the Bible? The apostles. Paul and Peter were threatened and banned from preaching about Jesus. They were beaten, they were thrown in jail. And what did they do? They did it anyway. That's what you call civil disobedience. That's what you call courage. So, take heart. They can try, but they can't cancel all 75 million of us. Hi, this is Lisa Smiley. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and share it. Also, join my Locals community at lisasmiley.locals.com, where I post exclusive content. See you there.